Hello and welcome to the Paul White Show. Today on the show we're going to kind of do a little something different. This is my first venture, but today we're going to explore the candidates that are running for City Council in District 1, which I reside and work. So my first guest today is John Stevens. He's one that is running for councilman. We hope to have all four of them on the program today. So you stay tuned. Go tell your friends they need to tune in. We'll be right back after this commercial. Welcome back to the Paul White Show. I do have in-studio guest today, and feels kind of funny being in the studio, but I think it's going to be a enjoyable show. And as I asked you before the commercial break to go call a friend, my first guest is John Stevens. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you, Paul. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
I understand you're running for City Councilman for District 1. What does District 1 entail? What is your area? What would be the area for District 1, the boundaries?
Well, south, there's a little piece that goes down to Mount Vernon.
Okay.
West, there's a little piece that stretches over to the river. North, it's past Koch Industries to 53rd Street North.
Okay.
East, there's a little piece. Now, by little piece, the district isn't perfectly rectangle. You know, there's places where it reaches out, and the furthest east is Rock Road.
Okay. Okay, John. The question that everybody's asking and the answers that everybody want to know is, what do you plan to do with District 1 if you are elected?
District 1 is a very terrific district. It has a little bit of everything in it. So it's quite a cross section of Wichita demographics and population. It's a very interesting place. There's Wichita State. There's Koch Industries. We have a lot of future possibilities as Wichita State grows. We're bound to have extra business opportunities. Offsetting Wichita State for people who want to start their own business. And having been a counselor to people in business, I look forward to talking with folks about that. And it's I'm not a big believer in government financing business, but I think it's great when business can be kind to business and help them any way they can to get started. I always encourage bureaucrats to be pro-business.
Okay, so the main question is, what is your plan? What do you plan to do with District 1? We know all of these entities are involved in District 1, but what do you plan to do to improve District 1?
Well, I'm a pro-business person, so I believe that anything we can do to help people in District 1 with their business. Of course, that can be all over the city, but especially in District 1. And I would like to talk to folks about what it is they would like to do in District 1. And I'm always interested in other people's plans and seeing what we can do to help them accomplish. I talked to a lady yesterday, and her interest in starting her own business, and I sent her a list of workshops she can attend that are free to learn what it takes to be in business. We've got a lot of young people coming up that need jobs. They need things to do where they can learn. I would like to see the Dunbar Theater completed. James Arberth has been a friend of mine for years. And I just, it just hurts me to see that it hasn't been finished yet. So if there's anything I can do to help him get it fixed, I want to work on that. We have some pools in District 1 that, the McAdams pool, I'm just saddened that they're going to try to take that down. I don't know if it can be reversed, but I sure would work to try to keep that from being closed. I would like to see it updated. I'd like to see it painted, made more attractive, and see if we can't come up with a schedule for kids to use it, for adults to use it. It's one of those terrific assets that we have in District 1. It was designed by an architect named McAfee. I'm sure you've heard of him. And it's one of the best mechanical pools in the city. But to take it down is it's a sin and a shame. And we have other pools in the city, same thing. The city council voted to take down all of them but 3. And I just don't understand their reasoning on that. Now, what I do understand, Paul, is that we have this obsession to build up downtown as opposed to neighborhoods. Neighborhoods are our most fundamental building block in our community. A number of neighborhoods end up making our community. And I would really like to see this downtown development take second place for a while to neighborhood building and the neighborhood services that we need. And I just think that parks need maintenance. Mm-hmm. We have parks in District 1 that need maintenance. We have citizens who are hurting for places to do their recreational workout, so to speak. The best workout I think that I hear of is pools, a good swimming lesson for young people. They learn how to swim. Old folks learn how to exercise, and I just think there's a lot of little things that I don't have a list in front of me, but this NAFSCR Park is another one. We're about to spend $1.5 million to tear it down, and I think that's a disgrace. It's an absolute social disgrace. And
Okay, John, not cutting you off, but
sure,
with time restraint.
Yeah.
One final statement from you.
Well, my name is John Stevens, and I would appreciate your vote. And I look forward to the opportunity to serve District 1.
Okay, John, thank you for being here today, and
Thank you, Paul.
we appreciate your interest in District 1. We're going to take another commercial break, and we'll be right back with another candidate. Welcome back to the Paul White Show. We are doing something, if you just tuned in, a little different today. We are visiting with the candidates for city councilman in District 1. And Mr. John Stevenson was just up, and now my guest is going to be Mike Kennard. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you for having me, Paul. How are you, sir?
Well, good, good. You've had probably several different opportunities to let the community know what's going on and how you stand for District 1. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why I'm hearing that I enjoyed all of the candidates. I like all of the candidates, but nobody has really explained the plan or say what their plan is for District 1. I didn't get that out of what I've been hearing. So now's an opportunity. I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you tell us what's your plan, your goal for District 1 if you are elected city councilman.
Well, first of all, you know, the forms it's very difficult to do it in a 90-second segment of what your actual plan is for this district.
Absolutely.
District 1 is a very diverse district. It runs everything from Entrust Arena up to Wichita State. It runs from the College Hill area over to McAdams area. So it's very diverse, very different, so it encompasses a lot of different things. But in the end, we're just one city, and we have to address all the issues within our district. Now, my plan is very simple. To address the basic needs. There was an old civil rights activist called Matt Green. And I remember Matt telling me, he said back in the civil rights days, they asked him, he said, Matt, I want you to get a pencil and paper here and I want you to write down the 10 things that you want. And Matt said he looked at him and he pushed the paper back to him and said, "You write down 10 things you want, and we want the same things. We want grocery stores in our neighborhood. We want gas stations in our neighborhood. We want the same opportunities in District 1 that's available everywhere in this city. But that's going to take collaboration. We have to work with one another. The community has to work with government. We have to have private enterprise, but it just takes bringing people together. And my plan is to bring people together. It's so often they say it's who you know. But in this case, I think it's who knows you. And many people in this community know who I am and know how I operate. I'm not a screamer and holler. I know I have a kind of a low-key demeanor, but believe me, I know how to get things done. So it's just gathering people together, devising a plan that's going to be beneficial for the community as a whole. No one person can do this. We have to do this thing together as a community.
Absolutely.
I can't just sit here and say I'm going to wave a magic wand and solve all of our issues. I mean, we need streets fixed. We need more opportunities, business development. And as we develop our business has a responsibility back to us. You have to have just basic business etiquette. So there's training that needs to be involved there. We need basic financial literacy, something that I have been touting since my days at the credit union. I had a young man named Marquise Murphy who I brought in, and he has taken this thing and just ran with it for the last 20 years. Financial literacy is so important in the African American community. So we're starting with our kids, teaching them basic fundamentals of how to write a checkbook, how to do a budget, just basic understanding of finance. And then once you have that basic understanding of finance, well, then we can start getting into more home ownerships, business ownerships. But it takes education, and we have to be able to educate ourselves on these things.
Right. I agree. Unity in the community is what it's going to take to do some changing and some upgrading and in District 1.
Yeah, I feel that there's a new wave of leadership coming in. We just have our first superintendent, African American woman, and Dr. Alicia Thompson, and I would like to work closely with her. So often we want to partner with our county, but I think it's so important that we partner with our school district, because if we don't educate them on the front side, we're going to incarcerate them on the back side. So let's work with one another, develop plans, develop strategies in which we can improve not only District 1, but our city as a whole.
Right. Your final statement today?
Well, again, my name is Mike Kennard. I bring over 30 years of experience, both professionally and politically. I have worked in this community. I'm part of this community, served on numerous boards in this community, and I can hit the ground running. This is no time for on the job training.
Right.
It takes experience and knowledge, and I think I bring that to the table.
Well, Mike, thank you for being here today. We're going to take another commercial break, and stay tuned. Don't go away. You might call your friend or your neighbor. We're going to visit with another candidate here in just a minute. Welcome back to the Paul White Show. We're glad you tuned in or stayed tuned in to the show today. If you're just now joining us, we're doing a little different show today. We're visiting with candidates who are running for city councilman in District 1. We've already gave two of the candidates the opportunity to tell us what they're planning on doing to improve District 1 or to work with District 1. So my third guest is Brandon Johnson.
Yes, sir. How you
Welcome
doing?
to the show, Brandon.
Thank you for having me.
And the question we've been asking all the candidates is, what's your plan for District 1, what you see in the future for District 1?
Well, I announced about 2 years ago, and since then I've had more than 100 meetings with folks in the community, and our plan is the community plan. So folks wanted to see better jobs, better employment. They wanted to see something done about the blight, the empty lots going on, improve public safety, improve transit, and government transparency. Those are all themes that continued to come up when I was talking with folks. So Plan-wise is more of the action I've been taking. I've been very active in this community over the last few years. We've seen improved public safety. We were able to get a commitment for body cameras. We see all law enforcement now has body cameras, and they're working on getting body cameras for supervisors. So we've been working on that. I want to continue working with law enforcement to improve those relationships. We've seen, now we're working on the gang file. There's more than 5,000 Wichitans on that gang file. We've been working with Chief Ramsey and Lieutenant Gilmore to get folks who are on the gang file notified. I don't know if you knew, but you couldn't get off the gang file up until recently. Working with Lieutenant Gilmore, that's changing for the juveniles on the gang file. So again, we're seeing some progress there. I want to keep that going. That's something that the community has definitely been supportive of. Looking at government transparency, I've been trying to let everybody know what's going on for the last few years, whether it's boards or committees that have been impacting our community where our voice isn't being heard. So what we want to do with that is continue to notify the community, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, knocking on your door, making a phone call, right, holding community meetings outside of the district advisory board meetings and breakfasts. We got to let the community know what's going on, the decisions being made to impact our community. And we've got to make sure that those in power, even me as a councilman, hear the needs of the community and that they are engaged. A lot of times we feel like our voice isn't heard, and it's because we're not being notified about what's going on. Right. So my goal is to definitely keep doing that. Another theme that I've been talking about is working together. We have to work together in this community and come together around issues, because I don't have all the solutions by myself, but I know together we can move mountains. So if we're working together, we can look at blight and abandoned homes. Those are opportunities to bring families here into the community. There has been funding in the past through HUD where you could look at, instead of demolishing homes, creating opportunities. So a pot of money that would be there, instead of tearing that home down, it's there to help develop it. You bring in a family, it's easier to get a $15,000 or $20,000 loan than it is $150,000. So you bring those folks to the community, we begin to grow our community even more. We begin to take care of our community. And again, when you look at employment, as we're selling our district in a different way. So we talk about community safety. It's a misnomer that our community is not as safe as others. Statistically, it is. So we want to continue to highlight that to businesses who are looking at our community. We also want to highlight that there is a job force there. In 67214, 56% of the people are unemployed. There are people who need jobs there. So we can look at hiring from the community to not only build up the community, but to also supply those jobs. We have talent. We can work with Workforce Alliance to get people trained if we need to. That's not a cost to the business owner. It's a free service provided by Workforce Alliance. So building those bridges there to get people hired, to get people trained, and then working into the community. Transit is difficult because you have to find a sustainable funding source. But again, if we're working together and we see how important it is, and we know sometimes in our community we have people with suspended driver's license, they can't drive, or some disability keeps them from driving. If we make transit more robust, then they also have the opportunity to get to and from work, to and from the store. And that brings up another point. We're in a food desert, so we need to do something about that. And I love what you do with the gardening. You've helped us out with community gardens before. I think, increasing community gardens in the community helps. That's quality produce, especially with the heirloom seeds that you provide. And that's the best tasting produce you can get, but it's also the most expensive at the store. So if there's a way for us to do that, maybe have a farmer's market where people can have access to that locally that they can walk to. I think all of those are ways in which we can help, and all of that is part of the plan. Again, it's working together, working on those issues. We've already seen a lot of progress, and the key is to continue working together, breaking down silos in our community, and then making that happen.
Okay, your final statement today?
Well, my name is Brandon Johnson. I'm asking for your vote and support on August 1st in this race. Because it's time that we put our focus back on neighborhoods. We've been expanding our city for too long. It's time that we continue to improve police, law enforcement relationships. It's time that we continue to improve public safety, public transit. We have to put the focus back on District 1. As I said in my announcement, you're only as strong as your weakest link. It's time to build up some of the links that we have that aren't as strong. That way our city improves together, but our neighborhoods improved. A lot of people feel like they went unheard and ignored here in District 1. I'm running to change that, and I'm asking for everyone's vote on August 1st to do just that.
All right, Brandon, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
You're watching the Paul White Show. We're visiting with candidates from District 1. You stay tuned. We'll be right back with the final candidate after this commercial break. Welcome back to the Paul White Show. If you're just tuning in, I hope you're not just tuning in, because you would have just missed 3 of the candidates that are running for councilman for District 1 on August the 1st. My final candidate is Janet Wilson. Welcome to the show, Janet.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
The questions that we've been asking, or I've been asking all of the candidates that the community wants to know is, what's your plan for District 1 if you are elected city councilman?
Okay, there was a rant on Facebook about what's the plan. There are 3 plans. There's the McAdams plan, there's the 21st Street business plan, there is the Central Northeast area plan. There are plans out there. We have not completed those plans. And my plan is to make sure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted before we move forward with a new plan. We have to complete the old plans, the old 21st Street Business Enterprise Zone, the old McAdams Development Zone, and the Central Northeast Area Development Zone. That plan has started coming into fruition just recently. They have started putting more money into the Northeast area. With that plan, I plan to continue getting those plans implemented as we move forward into a new plan. You know, you have to complete the plans first before you move forward, because those were very sound plans about sidewalks, infrastructure, business development, business enterprise zone, which is what they had planned on 21st Street. That is not complete. Why should I make a new plan when we haven't completed the old plan that's already sound and viable as we move forward? Now, moving forward into the future, the plan should be to complete the old plan to bring enterprise zone, build up businesses, create an environment where businesses can thrive, create an environment where entrepreneurs can launch. That should be a plan, but it's already a plan. Building the sidewalks. You know, a lot of times people say that the city, but we need to start doing what we can do for ourselves. That should be part of the plan, and stop depending solely and reliable on the city when you can do some things for yourself. And I'll give you an example. You have a broken sidewalk. It is actually cheaper for you to fix your sidewalk rather than let the city fix that sidewalk. That employs minority businesses, gives them an opportunity to employ their skills. And now this is if you're financially able. But a lot of people will wait for the city to fix it, which puts the burden on everyone instead of the person with the sidewalk themselves. You know, and then if you're on a fixed income or you're elderly or disabled, it makes a difference. Sometimes it's not feasible to fix that at your income. But if you can, why wait for the city? That should be part of the plan. Part of the plan should be what we've always been doing is to, relieve blight. Well, in my neighborhood and in the surrounding neighborhoods, we partner with Sedgwick County for the paint. And then we take that paint and we partner with the Sedgwick County juveniles who are committed to community service and let them paint. Well, that's part of the plan, blight relief. We're doing that. We have an urban desert. I am over several community gardens. We are relieving, we're giving fresh produce, but we also are relieving some of that pressure on the urban desert. I am a health advocate. We are trying to get people a health home where the emergency room doctor is not your primary care doctor. That's part of the plan. So when they rant about we need a plan, there already is a plan. We are working the plan. As we move forward, as with anything, when you goal set, once you reach a goal, the goal is to revise that goal, do a strategic plan, do a lookout, see what you've already done that's been completed, and then put further goals in advance. Now, we know that Northeast area has been underfunded for years. it's been neglected for years. As a council person, my plan is to see that the funds that are designated for District 1 go to District 1. But keep in mind, you have to look at it's 5 votes versus my vote. I have to be able to partner and collaborate with the rest of the board to make sure that we get our equitable amount.
Okay, Janet, today your final statement for my viewers.
I am Janet Wilson, running for City Council District 1. I would like for you to vote me through the primary August the 1st, and I thank you for having me, and I thank you for voting.
Well, thanks for being here today, Janet.
Thank you.
The primaries is August the 1st. If you do not know, it's a little late to register to vote in the primary, but hopefully everybody's already registered to vote. So I like to encourage my viewers to get out and vote. Your vote does count. Don't sit at home and say, my vote don't count. It's just one vote. But that one vote counts. So I definitely encourage you to get out and vote in District 1 for the councilman of your choice. Thanks for watching the Paul White Show today.